25 official Vyapam deaths have been reported so far. However, more deaths are being reported, but it's not clear if they are related to the scam directly or not. After Aaj journalist Akshay's death, two more such deaths have been reported in the last 2 days. A trainee sub-inspector has apparently committed suicide in the Sagar Police Academy. The cop Anamika Kushwaha was recruited through Vyapam and was from Morena district in Madhya Pradesh. She jumped into a pond this morning at around 5 a.m. She had joined the police force in February this year after appearing for the exam conducted by Vyapam. An investigation has in fact been ordered in this case. All right, for more on this non-stop coverage here on India Today, let's now cut across to Bhopal live, where I'm joined in by TV Today Network's managing editor, Rahul Kamal. Rahul, it's over to you.
Thanks, Ankit. Another morning and another death in the Vyapam scam. This time, a young girl by the name of Anamika Kushwaha, who was preparing to be a sub-inspector, has been found dead in rather mysterious circumstances. Now, the exact cause of her death is not known just yet, but this is the third instance just in the past 72 hours. This is the third such instance. Now, the question really, Sanket, is what is going on, and why is it that one after another people are dying in such mysterious circumstances? We've also received word that a journalist who reported on how police was going around Morena, which is one of the districts of Madhya Pradesh, collecting death certificates of those who died in the Vyapam case. How that journalist's father, who happens to be a head constable, has been summoned to Bhopal. Now, remember, Akshay died while investigating the Vyapam case, and this morning now we've received word that a journalist who was reporting for a local Hindi daily, his father has been summoned to the police station in Bhopal. Sanket.
That's right, Rahul. I believe there's some problem in that audio connection with you. If you could just get that fixed quickly, and we'll come across to you in just a short moment. Meanwhile, Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has agreed to send deceased journalist Akshay Singh's viscera sample outside the state for a probe. The MP government agreed to the demand of Aaj journalist's family for a free and fair probe. The family had demanded that Akshay's viscera test should be conducted outside the state. The move comes after the Chief Minister briefed Home Minister Rajnath Singh and said that the scribe's death is natural. The Madhya Pradesh police have also agreed to send a report to the Union Home Ministry. The India Today group, which is in mourning of the untimely death of its correspondent, echoed this demand in a statement. The India Today group said, and I quote, and we'll put that graphic plate on the screen right now, "The circumstances of the untimely death of TV Today journalist Akshay Singh merits a full, fair and independent inquiry. We urge the Madhya Pradesh government to immediately have the viscera sample sent to a recognized forensic laboratory outside the state, preferably Delhi's All India Institute of Medical Sciences, for a thorough and transparent examination. This would assuage the family, friends and well-wishers of Akshay who seek some closure. Nothing in fact we do will ever bring back Akshay. A brave and fearless journalist, the India Today group stands by the family in their hour of crisis." Unquote. So that's the statement that has been released by the India Today group. At this moment, what we are hearing is that the Madhya Pradesh government seems to be giving in to that particular demand of the family as well as the India Today group, that the viscera sample must be sent to Delhi's All India Institute of Medical Sciences. Rahul Kamal now is back with us. Rahul, it's over to you.
Sorry about that, Sanket. A bit of a problem with the battery. Now, what I was telling you was that in Sagar, a young girl has been found dead, again in mysterious circumstances. Now, there are two ways of looking at it. This was a sub-inspector who was this is a young girl who was training to be a sub-inspector, and she was one of the people who got through in the Vyapam route. Now, the question is, are these all just coincidences, or is there something that links them together? But I was speaking to some local politicians over here from the BJP. They said that so many people got admission through the Vyapam route that it's almost impossible to say that each of these is a mysterious death or each of these is an unnatural death. Some of them could just be natural deaths, but because of the fact that they're happening in such quick succession, they raise very serious questions about the probe that is being done by the Special Task Force of the Madhya Pradesh Police. Now the pressure is on Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh. Why is he holding back on a CBI probe? Now, we had a conversation with him, Sanket, and in that conversation he said that the High Court here is monitoring the probe and therefore it cannot be handed over to the CBI. But after that I had an opportunity to speak to several constitutional experts, former senior ministers in the government, to understand how this architecture works, and they're saying that Monday morning, which is today, the Chief Minister's Advocate General in the High Court can tell the Chief Justice that the government doesn't have a problem in handing this over to the CBI. If the Chief Minister is serious in his intent and if he's genuinely not worried, then that's the next step, because locals here feel that they've lost faith in the police. There have been too many deaths, and we're not suggesting that all those deaths are murder. Many of them may not be murder, but the reality is, because of all these deaths and the inability of the police to clamp down on it, now there is a need for a Supreme Court monitored SIT, independent of the government agencies, that's looking at investigating this case. That probably is the only way to restore public confidence here in Madhya Pradesh, because the Chief Minister's popularity graph and his credibility have taken a huge hit because of this.
Absolutely. And Rahul, if you could tell us a little about this chorus that is in fact growing. Is it just the political fraternity and the opposition, particularly the Congress, or genuinely there is a feeling on the ground that there has to be a Supreme Court monitored SIT probe into the Vyapam scam? Because things don't seem to be adding up. You know, everything could perhaps not be a coincidence. There is definitely a doubt and a perception crisis.
No, we've been studying each of these 46 deaths now quite closely, Sanket, and at least 12 of those deaths seem to be rather mysterious. Take the case of the Dean of the Jabalpur Medical College, Dr. Sakale. He was from the forensics department in a lawn similar to where we're standing right now. He was found dead after allegedly having doused himself in kerosene. Now, we spoke to some of his family members and they said that he was a forensics expert and he had access to so many acids, and if he really wanted to commit suicide, he could have found less painful ways of doing so. And his death happened just at a time when his wife had gone out for a morning walk. Even the case of the girl in Meghnagar who was being investigated by our colleague Akshay on his last day, that again, that girl's body is found in Ujjain on a railway track. Now, why would this girl go so far away from her home? Her home was in Jhabua, which is near Gujarat. Why would she go all the way to Ujjain and then commit suicide over there? So there are several cases where there are discrepancies which are clearly visible. Those need to be investigated. The STF supposedly is investigating those cases, but people are losing faith. You know, when I was coming in this morning at the airport and then outside, and even as we've been walking around, the one thing people have been saying, and they're blaming the national media for not paying enough attention in the build-up to the last several months, saying that, you know, this has been happening for you. Now suddenly everyone's talking about it and it's on TV, but this has been happening, and they're absolutely right, for quite some time, and all of us have been equally guilty of not paying as much attention to this story as we possibly could have. Now, these people are saying that they're glad that finally the national media has woken up, that finally these discrepancies which are being reported in the local media are being brought out, given national amplification, and they're hoping that some of this will actually lead to the CBI beginning to probe this. There are those who feel that the CBI also reports to the central government, and there's no guarantee that there will be a thorough CBI probe. See what's happening in the NIA cases, where in Ajmer, in the Malegaon blast case, now one after another witnesses are turning hostile. So there are concerns, but clearly the credibility of, you know, and people have been asking what's the difference between the SIT and the STF, because everybody's gotten onto the story a little late. So let me just explain that in a moment, Sanket. The STF is the Special Task Force of the Madhya Pradesh Police that's investigating the Vyapam case. That is being monitored by a special SIT, which has been formed by the Madhya Pradesh High Court, and that SIT has judges and they are monitoring the work that the police is doing. Shivraj Singh Chauhan is saying they're doing what they can, but clearly what is being done is not enough, and questions are being raised about it. Now, in the next 48 hours, there's immense pressure on Shivraj Singh Chauhan to transfer this, to write to the Ministry of Home Affairs for the Advocate General to go to the High Court and say, we don't have a problem. Don't say you don't have a problem, but actually move the papers that will lead to this case being transferred from the STF to the CBI. Remember, just in a short while from now, the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh and the Home Minister of India, Rajnath Singh, will be together in Jhabua. There's a prayer meeting of a BJP MP who passed away, and Jhabua is also where our correspondent died. And I know that since yesterday they've been speaking about this probe, they spoke about Akshay's death, they've been looking at the overall investigation into the Vyapam case, and from what I've gathered from the Home Minister's office, they did try and impress upon the Chief Minister, and you know, he doesn't bully his way around. He tried to tell the Chief Minister that, you know, they're open to a CBI probe. That's what's been communicated from the Home Minister's side. Now the onus is on the Chief Minister whether or not he'll actually accede to this demand. He says he doesn't have a problem. Mr. Chauhan, if you don't have a problem, then walk the talk.